My name is David. I am a DIY landlord. I have my own rental properties in California. I have probably placed about 5 or 6 tenants in the last 5 or 6 years. And to do so, I have solely used the rental property software Avail. It's been a great software for me. And what I'm going to show you on my screen here is actually a sample application so you can understand the nuts and bolts of the basic fundamentals of the tenant screening process. So again, on my screen here is a sample application. At the top, you will typically get a bio, and here on my screen is actually a sample application from Avail. So at the top, you're going to get a bio, and typically what prospective renters will fill out is their bio information. If they have any pets, maybe a little bit about their age, income, demographic, their hobbies, things like that. And you'll typically get an income level and things of that nature. Tenant screening and sample application, in my opinion, go hand in hand. So a lot of these questions you would ask a prospective renter as part of the screening process is basically captured here. And that's why I'm going to show you this. I think it's the best way to sort of visually just get your feet wet in understanding what to screen for. So first and foremost, one of the first things you want to look at is going to be your residence history. So that's that first box here. Where did this person live prior to applying for your rental property? This will give you an idea if they used to be a homeowner, if they've ever rented before, if they're currently living with their parents, whatever the use case or situation may be. This gives you a great idea of if this person's moving around or not, if they have a past history of rent established. Maybe they've been prior homeowners. I've rented to prior homeowners in the past, but all that will show up in residence history. And as a landlord, it's important for you to understand that so you can understand, has this person been a reliable source and a reliable sort of renter for some type of a landlord or company. This can also help you understand where the person currently lives, how frequently they move around, things like that. Next thing is employment history. This also helps you understand if maybe they're remote or they want to live closer to their job and things of that nature. Now, again, I have placed tenants that or renters that are not employed. They might be on Social Security, or they might have retirement income. They might have investment income sources. So there's other sort of employment history and sort of income histories and income sources. But generally speaking, you'll typically find people that have rented in the past and they have some kind of a source of income and a stable job. Next up would be your standard questions. Have you ever been convicted of a felony, any bankruptcies, things like that? These are pretty much boilerplate on all tenant screening and rental applications, but it's very important to ask these questions and just to sort of understand what you might be getting yourself into in working with this person. Next up is documentation. This one's very important, right? We're going to want to, at a minimum, look for 2 key things in the early stages of tenant screening process. If you are serious about a prospective renter and you think you're going to move forward with them to a lease agreement and to the next steps, you really want to double check their government ID. Is this person who they say they are? And does it match everything they filled out? In addition to that, their proof of income, right? Where is their money coming from? And does it match this person's name? If you start getting into weird situations where money is appearing in people's accounts, you don't know where it's coming from, or it's cash, things like that, you can't trace any of it. Generally speaking, that's not to say it's not legitimate, but it does pose an opportunity for risk for you as a landlord. And I highly suggest sort of doing your due diligence to try and sort those things out. And the cleaner the paper trail, usually the cleaner the situation will be in the long run for you sort of placing your prospective renters. Next up, credit report. This one's important as well because it sort of helps you understand how much debt your prospective renter might be in, their debt to income ratio, how much sort of, do they have any loans out there? Do they have no loans, credit card debt? Are they always making their payments on time? Have they ever filed for bankruptcy? All these things will typically show up in most credit reports. And usually I don't see anything too crazy on these, but I've definitely seen some questionable things. So it's just something you want to look for. And it helps you understand really how this person is spending and how much sort of their cash flow they need to spend to pay down loan balances and things like that. And that can help you sort of do the math to determine if this person is a good fit for you. Last up, you have these last 2 boxes, criminal background report and evictions report. These 2 boxes are important to check off because it can be a cause for concern depending on what it is. If this person does have a criminal background or an evictions sort of history, obviously these pose a threat to you for a variety of reasons as a landlord, and they're just certain things you'd want to do your due diligence on prior to placing the tenant. That's not to say there's always edge cases and scenarios where it might still make sense for you, but this is an important thing to look at when sort of building a rental application and screening for your tenants. So that's going to be it for this video. This is just, again, super crash course tenant screening. What should I ask my tenants? What should I put in the application so I can get a good sort of quick view on if this person's going to be a good fit for my property? These would be the things I recommend on this sample application here. And just to run through the top one more time, it's that residence history, the employment history, standard questions, documentation, credit report, criminal background report, and evictions report. So thanks all for watching, and hope you have a good one.